Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories throughout the Carolinas and beyond sometimes. Today it's Sunday and it's October the 3rd, 2021. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to say welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you're a returning viewer, by all means, thank you so much for coming back. You know, I always say that here on the YouTube street, the tide changes from one second to the next. So you need to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want to tell you in advance that I certainly appreciate your support. Feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. And our story today comes from Caroline County in Annapolis, Maryland. Take a look at the headline. And it reads, Judge swallowed evidence before killing himself as FBI moved in to arrest him. I'll provide you with a summary here, and as always, I'll place links to a few of the full articles in the description box. Now, this is a case from this September 2021, and I selected this case because it shows just how those in authority, while imposing sentence on others who are guilty of similar crimes, and it shows just how far these individuals are willing to go in order to escape punishment. Now, the case I'm going to present to you today is much similar to this one here, and this is the case here from a few weeks ago, and it's about a former North Carolina Superior Court judge. He had taken a 14-year-old boy to a hotel here in North Carolina, gave him alcohol, watched pornography with the child, and then engaged in some sort of sexual act with the child. And the 14-year-old pretended he was going out of the room to get ice. He was pretending he was going to the ice machine, and he used that opportunity to call his mother. And in this case right here, the judge was sentenced to 2 years. He had to register as a sex offender, and he was barred from practicing law. But one thing for certain, these cases are not conducted in isolation. They're probably happening much more frequently than you realize, and that takes us into our story for today. So today we're talking about 50-year-old Judge Jonathan Newell, and Judge Newell has had a career enforcing the law. He began his career as a public defender in 1999, then became the Deputy State Attorney for Kent County in Maryland. He held both positions for 2 years. He was elected as the state's attorney for Caroline County in 2013, and he stayed in that position for 13 years until 2016 when Governor Larry Hogan appointed him to be a judge, and he retained that position again in 2018 and was serving a 15-year term. So it's safe to say he has a history in law enforcement, and that's what makes this case so absolutely shocking. So this case really started to unfold back on July the 23rd of this year when police responded to a cabin in Maryland in a place called Fishing Creek on Hoppers Island, where a minor found a camera in a bathroom. He took pictures of it with his phone and called his parent. Very smart kid. Police arrived and interviewed 2 minors who said they had spent the night at the cabin along with a few others. They also interviewed Judge Newell. It appears he had conducted frequent cabin adventures with underage children in the past, but the judge specifically said that 10 individuals had access to the bathroom. They were free to come and go, but he himself had nothing to do with the placement of that camera. Now, that day in July must have been the worst day in this judge's life, because I'm sure by the time the police arrived, he suspected he was about to go down and that it was not going to be pretty. According to reports, the judge then went into the bedroom to plug in a cell phone and make a few calls. That's what he said. But investigators observed him reaching under his bed and then placing his fist up to his mouth. So they approached him, and when they approached him, the investigators heard a loud, distinguishable crunch sound from the judge's mouth. After another minute or two, the investigators heard the crunch sound again, followed by the judge reaching for and drinking from a cup located on the dresser in the room. Because the memory card from a box with camera equipment appeared to be missing, investigators suspected that the judge had chewed up and swallowed the evidence. The judge was taken to a hospital, and a warrant was obtained in order for a CT scan to be done on him. That's a scan to show what's inside of your body. The result of the scan showed that he had swallowed a metallic object. So now for certain, that evidence was gone, because by the time it's excreted in his poop, investigators won't be able to put any of the pieces back together. So that evidence was now lost, and it may have seemed as a smart move by the judge, but it only helped to substantiate his involvement in something illegal. Why in the world would you chew up the evidence unless you have something to hide? So without a doubt, Police knew for certain they were onto something. Now, the judge was not charged at that time, but the investigation continued. Investigators then obtained a search warrant for his cabin, his boat, his office, and they seized multiple digital devices. They were searching everything that he owned. They also found a hard drive in a safe at his residence that showed videos of boys as they were in the shower. In some of the videos, the judge was seen setting up the camera. Makes you wonder just how long this had been going on. The reports did not specify that, but obviously it had been going on for some time. The FBI then interviewed several young boys who said they had been in a cabin with a judge, and they indicated that the judge had checked their naked bodies for ticks while they were in the bathroom. At least two of the boys said they were naked when the judge conducted this search for ticks. One judge stated he had to move his own organs for the judge to look for ticks. So there had been a lot of looking and checking going on. And one boy said at least twice the judge did move his genitalia, meaning the judge moved the boy's genitalia to look for ticks. And in one video clip, the judge is actually seen searching the naked body of a young man, again, looking for ticks, as they reported. I'm not changing any of the words. That's exactly what was reported. According to reports, the case had become a public spectacle. Everybody was talking about it. And in early August, the judge took a leave of absence after his cabin and his office was searched, and this leave extended into September. Meanwhile, two of the boys who had been in the cabin with the judge, their parents obtained lawyers, and the judge was served with a no-contact restraining order around August the 4th timeframe or so. In those orders, he was requested to stay away from the children, stay away from their schools, stay away from other activities that the children normally attend, and he was warned that if he did contact these children, his action would be reported to the police as witness tampering. So things were heating up and getting out of control at this point. But the judge was under constant surveillance and he knew it. Also, rumors of the investigation were well circulated throughout the community. Everybody was kind of whispering about it, but the legal authorities were refusing to disclose any information about the judge or the investigation. But early in the morning on Friday, September the 10th, which is last month, it came to an abrupt end. The judge's neighbor reported that early in the morning she heard a lot of commotion outside the judge's home as police surrounded the house. She said she heard the FBI over a loudspeaker saying, "Jonathan, come on out, put your hands up." She said agents approached the door and she heard several loud bangs. They were banging, they were going in. Next thing she knew, they were inside the house. But while all of this was going on and while the FBI was making attempts to enter the home, something else was happening on the inside of the house because apparently shots had been fired. When the FBI entered the house, they found the judge suffering from what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. A sad ending to a case that has left me shaking my head in disbelief. Here you have a former prosecutor and a sitting judge who spent several decades of his life enforcing the law by imposing punishment on others, and he was about to be arrested for sexual exploitation of children. But he was defiant until the end. In order to conceal some of his crimes, he chewed up and swallowed the evidence. He must have been doing this type of videotaping children for quite some time because apparently there was a lot of evidence and he did not have sufficient time to get rid of it all. The videos police found, along with the interviews conducted by several of the children, were sufficient evidence to arrest the judge and probably send him to prison for the rest of his life. But he was not prepared to pay for his crimes. He was not about to be arrested, so he took the easy way out by ending his own life. The result, a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Whoa, I'm shocked. But then again, I probably should not be. This is the world we live in, and anything goes. You just can't trust anybody. I'm just reflecting here for a few minutes, but it seems that, it's a selfish world that we're living in because crimes like these against children seem to be getting out of control. And I think one of the unfortunate things about this case is that this judge managed to survive under the radar screen without anyone knowing what he was doing. If it had not been for one child finding that camera and notifying his parents, who knows how long this behavior by a sitting judge would have continued. And I'm sure he's not alone. But another unfortunate thing about the ending of the story is that he killed himself and he took all the knowledge with him. We'll probably never know who else was involved. We need to stay alert and we need to continue to speak to our children. If things don't seem right, they need to let us know and let us know immediately. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on this notification bell right here, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.